I may as well join the bully
No
to
wonder.
bully others.
No wonder.
So this is like actually you have started with one male wolf. This wolf go and find another few male wolves. Together they form a pack.
Hi everyone, halo semua. Welcome back to HJS podcast. As you can see, the face is different. I am not Marilyn. I'm Josephine from EAIM, and I'm with my academic director, Mr. Stanley.
Hello.
And today we have hijacked HJS Education.
Off you go.
Off you go. Bye.
Bye.
So today we have a very special talk. It's on a psych talk. So very special on psychology. So we see nowadays, especially in Indonesia, Stanley, including myself maybe, we are very much addicted to our phone. Okay,
Actually, it's all of us.
wake up in the morning already phone. My husband, I already forgot where he is. Okay. Straight away phone, okay? Go to sleep at night phone, okay? Indonesia, orang-orang Indonesia, I know kita orang Indonesia semua juga kayak gitu. So today we're gonna dive deep into that topic. Very special guest. Saya import langsung dari Singapura ke Indonesia. I have my academic director. I will give him the time. Gak gampang bawa dia ke Indonesia. But it's a very special series just for you, our very special audience. So, Stanley,
Hello.
please introduce yourself.
Okay. Well, this series is not about me, right? So I'll just make it short. Okay. So anyway, just to add on what Joe mentioned earlier, if you find yourself playing game last night, you find yourself actually connected, checking your social media like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. Okay, you are definitely on the internet, right? Or if you are using internet to say study for an online course, or even worse, you are watching a video. Okay, this topic will be very relevant to you, I guarantee.
Yep.
Okay, without further ado, let me give a quick overview about who I am. Okay, Joe have done a marvelous introduction earlier. Okay, I'm the academic director at East Asia Institute of Management, Singapore. Myself, I've been teaching for many years. So I started with business and eventually I went into psychology.
Yep.
So how did I pick up psychology? That was during the COVID years. So now I'm able to marry business, psychology, and even IT together. So this topic that I'm going to present today is quite different. It's actually a combination of IT and a combination of psychology together. So what we call cyber psychology.
Cyber psychology.
Okay, and it's one of the latest trends in the psychology.
Never heard of it, right?
Yeah.
This is the very first.
It's cyber plus psychology, so cyber psychology.
Yep.
Okay, basically how your behavior changes when you're on the internet. All right. So earlier we said for today, young people out there, okay, you definitely need the internet for different reasons. It's part of your life. You can no longer leave home without your phones. Yep. You cannot say a day where you don't have internet. Right? I mean, I can give you a phone. But if I don't give you an internet access, you say, where's the Wi-Fi? Can I have the Wi-Fi access? Or how can you watch Netflix when you don't have the internet?
Oh no.
Okay.
I need
or
Netflix.
How can you drive when you don't use your GPS?
Yep.
I think a lot of people have this issue today where they say that the internet is almost like a power man. It's like their arms and their legs.
Yep.
So today, let's look at a bit more about how internet plays a role, okay, and how it changes some of your behavior. Right? Okay, first, of course, earlier we mentioned they use it in school, okay, they use it at home. I'm sure when you're watching this video, you're probably at home, right?
Yeah.
By virtue of watching this video, that means you're connected to the internet. So it applies to you for sure. All right, and of course, gaming. I cannot imagine gaming without the internet. Okay, I think the games in the past has been very using a hard disk, or copy from a floppy drive, or even a CD, if you remember the good old days.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think today games have evolved a lot, and even games have issues. So we're going to look at that in one of our presentations shortly. Okay, the internet. Okay, what do I call it? The enchanted forest. I think enchanted forest because it brings a lot of benefits.
Yep.
To the average person, audience out there, it gives you a lot of actually marvelous returns. First, it's actually a world that seems to be giving absolute freedom.
Yeah.
You can visit any website in the world. Okay. In fact, you don't even have to pay. That is where the freedom is: financial freedom,
Yep.
and of course the freedom to do whatever you need. Nobody watches you. Your parents, even actually your loved ones, your teachers are not going to be there, right? Looking at you over the internet. Oh, what? This is what you're doing. You shouldn't. So the internet itself gives one a lot of freedom. In fact, absolute freedom. All right, and it also gives you equality. On the internet, you're just like any others. Okay, you are millions and millions. You're among the millions and millions of people out there.
Right.
So it does not mean that you must be a student, you must be a teacher, you must be a parent, or you must even be a principal, or even must be, like, for example, a working adult. Okay, everyone is the same. You are just a browser. You're just a server. Okay,
And they
so
don't know who you are. You can just be there on a random name. I could be cat lover 123, and
Yes.
people won't know who I am. I can be a whole
in fact,
different person.
it's also this actually equal status, right?
Yeah.
That gives us some issues. So we're going to talk about that later. So why does actually being equal on the internet give you problems? Okay, and I think of course the third thing is there's no boundaries. Internet, okay, it doesn't mean that you must be in one country. There's no need for you to be in one location. Even when you're on the go, you are on the internet. Okay, so these three things offers actually a lot of people, especially audience out there, okay, the freedom to do anything you want, to become whoever you want, and even more important, to be actually having this absolute freedom, okay, and say in becoming who you want to be. Okay, and these three things entice a lot of youngsters, a lot of students, including myself. I'm no stranger to that. Okay, but of course, as with all good things, right? When you overdo it, okay, it becomes actually a problem. It can be a problem. So we will examine some of the problems that internet brings today. Okay, how it affects your behavior. Okay, in many cases, it's a double-edged sword. What do you mean by a double-edged sword? It has its pros, it has its cons. Okay, on the internet, young people like yourself, audience out there, you probably will happen to discover something interesting about the world that teachers, friends, parents, or even your neighbors will not be able to share. Okay, the internet educates you a lot. You are able to go to places without you physically being there. I mean, think about all the travel documentaries you watch. You're able to watch movies without stepping into a cinema. So there's a lot of things that you could do on the internet. And I think the most important is free.
It's free.
Most important is free. You don't pay. Okay, when you go to many of these websites. Okay, you also spend a lot of time online. In fact, I did a quick calculation. I did research. The typical Indonesian youth spend something like between 15 to 18 hours online per day. That is one of the highest hours in the whole of Asia, if not the second highest.
That's bad.
It depends on what you say. It may be for the betterment, it may not be for bad. It depends on what you do with the internet, right? If you're saying that you're spending 18 hours to study online, I think it's a good thing.
I doubt it.
But
I'm scared they're on TikTok and Instagram.
But if you spend 18 hours, right, playing games online, then maybe it's not such a good thing, right? Okay, but for sure, you're definitely spending a lot of hours. Okay, and this does not relate to only just the youth. Adults spend a lot of time online. Okay, every time you go on a holiday, you post your photos online as well, right? So it doesn't just apply to people, youngsters out there. Everyone, okay, who finds internet is a marvelous thing to have. Okay, earlier I think we mentioned that actually they spend a lot of time online, right? And this comes with risks as well. Okay, one of the biggest risks is that there's a lot of hidden dangers, a lot of risks online, and audience like yourself may not even be aware. Okay. There will be a lot of issues, a lot of problems that happen as a result of the internet. So we're going to examine some of this. Okay, but before examining the negative side, let's look at actually the positive side of people using the internet. Okay, I think youngsters today, especially audience out there, or you, me, both of us. Youngsters, of course, I'm still young, right? I mean, I still have black hair. Okay, so young people, right? Okay, I will say myself as young people. Okay, we volunteer over the internet. Okay, we still do a lot of charitable organization. For example, donate to a good cause. For example, someone is probably going through a rough time.
Yep.
We can always pledge donations online.
Yeah, I remember during COVID time, they need a lot of donation. They use a lot of Instagram stories to get the word out, and they did get the.
I think there's a lot more. For example, when there's natural disasters out everywhere, okay, like for example, Japan tsunami, okay, Nepal, you have the earthquakes, or even Indonesia, when you have actually tsunami years ago, a lot of people,
a lot of countries also help.
Yeah, a lot of countries. So it's not only just because of natural disasters, even for small little acts of kindness, okay, you can do that easily over the internet. Pledge $1, pledge 50 cents, it's up to you. Okay, and people also can actually keep in touch. I think this is the most important part of the internet, right? We may not be able to meet our loved ones every now and then, or even our friends every other day, every other hour. But with the internet, especially social media, okay, we get to know each another.
Yes.
So no longer are the days where we say, we must meet on a certain day, certain time. Okay, we can always send you a WhatsApp.
Correct.
Or you can send me maybe an Instagram post, or I can always send you a TikTok video. I think that these are some marvelous ways the internet have given us. Okay, and they are definitely here to stay. Okay, a lot of parents, teachers, or even actually working adults may feel that internet, it brings a lot of evil. Okay, however, like it or not, it's here to stay. And because it actually forms a backbone, okay, of our lives. Our backbone in the sense of education, we study. Nowadays, we take a lot of courses online. Okay, I'm sure by virtue you're watching us, okay,
You're learning.
Now, you're learning something, right? So that's part of your learning. Okay, welcome to the world of education. You are also using this for social life, connecting to each other, texting each other, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, TikTok, you name it. This is part of your belonging.
Yes.
Okay. And I think lastly, like earlier we keep saying gaming, right?
Yeah.
Actually, it's not just about gaming. Your Netflix, okay, your YouTube videos, and many more. All these are your backbone. Imagine I take away any of these three items. Josephine, how will you feel?
I would be very sad.
And the worst part is, this is the internet.
Yeah.
Once I take away the internet, you can't do anything
live
much.
with one or the other. I need everything.
I think same thing. To me, to you, I think to a lot of audience out there, we feel hopeless. We feel like internet. Somehow or rather, we don't know what to do. We can no longer drive without a GPS also. Okay. We can no longer talk to friends without actually meeting them in person. So something is lost. Okay. So, but it's here to stay. Okay. We actually always say that, sometimes when things are good, okay, good habits come from young. Is it true?
True.
Sure? Are you very, very sure? Are you very, very sure?
Yep.
Okay.
Because I have a little kid right now, and I can really see that whatever we are doing, she will follow.
I am very worried now because once I present the next part, she will bring all this knowledge back home. Okay. So in terms of research, when we do research, the youngest internet server is preschoolers.
Preschool.
Yes. That means as long as they can recognize alphabets, they can recognize videos, patterns, okay, they are on the internet. So it doesn't mean that they must be 2 years old. It can be many times 11 months old or even less. All right. Okay, the starting age of internet users is definitely decreasing, and it's an issue. Why? Because kids are exposed to the internet at a very young age. Less than 1 year old. Can you imagine? Less than 1 year old, they're already watching a lot of videos.
I don't have that policy in the house. No gadget whatsoever.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. For me, I think it's okay to expose people to internet usage when they're young, but I think too young is an issue. Okay. I think there are certain things that they shouldn't be exposed at such a young age. All right. On the other hand, the average amount of time you spend online is increasing. Earlier, I mentioned Indonesia has something like between 16 to 18 hours
18 hours
per day, not per week. Okay. I probably am online maybe 2 to 3 hours a day.
Serious?
Okay? Yeah. I mean, I don't even have a Facebook account, or I don't have an Instagram. So I'm trying to disconnect, okay, as much as I can. But of course, I know how to use internet, watch Netflix, etc. But I think it really depends on the individual. Just be mindful to watch the amount of hours you're online. Okay. So why I say that actually it could be a problem, because there are many issues that we probably will face. Let me show you some statistics, and that's how you will find out a lot more. So how frequent do you go online? Earlier I said Indonesia 15 to 18 hours, right? But when a survey was done in US, 92% of US teens go online every day without fail. So that is 9 out of 10. Okay, and for the one who doesn't go online, do you make a guess? Why is this person not online?
Is he in the military or something?
No. Because this particular teen was never given a phone.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have a phone, how do you go to the internet? Or was never given a computer.
Oh my gosh.
But once you're given a computer or a phone, chances are high it comes with the internet. Okay? So a small little 8% are not online. And 24% of them are online almost every other minute.
Wow.
That is crazy.
Wow.
So can you imagine you're in school, you're still online?
Their face is buried on their phone.
I think it's not only just buried. You are literally in the cyber world 24/7.
Wow.
Okay? And can you imagine even when you're sleeping, you're still online?
What?
Yeah.
How do they do that?
No, because sometimes online games are still happening in the background, right?
Wow.
Videos are still running in the background, right?
Yeah.
Okay, or music is still playing, right? Yeah, so they are still online. As much as physically they may not be there. Okay? So how does this affect you? I think more important is the effect, right? How does it affect young people? We're going to look at this from 4 angles. First, social media usage. Is social media usage good or bad? Violence, okay? Does it promote violence in online games? How about internet addiction? How much is much? How much is excessive? How much is crazy? Okay? And of course, all schools will be very interested in this, cyberbullying. So we're going to examine internet usage in these 4 key areas. Okay, so let's talk about why do young people go online. Okay, what do you think?
They need an escape. Sometimes when I was a student, after studying for exam and all, I just want to log out and I just want to enjoy my internet time.
So when you feel stressed, you find that the internet is a good place to hide.
Yeah.
To hide, okay? What else? What else do you think audience out there are doing?
Pretty much heavy reliance on information. Every time I need information, I will go online. Like, what's this disease? What is this rash on my skin? All of that.
For all the additional information that's triggered to you, right? And of course, entertainment. Really mention entertainment.
Mainly
right?
entertainment.
So these are all things that people do online. But actually, there are 7 advantages of why they go online.
Wow.
Okay, let's look at each of them. First is anonymous. Okay, when you go internet, right? When you go into internet, nobody knows who you are. Technically, okay, unless you register a particular account. Even when you're online with your name, your alias, you're just one of the many millions on the internet. Okay, and you can be in any particular website and nobody will monitor you. Okay, there's no police checking on you, there's no parents watching over you, and the school probably doesn't even realize that you're online. Okay, so anonymity is one of the biggest advantage. You are able to explore your own identity. Okay, and yet you don't need to be physically present or physically meeting someone. Right? Okay, second, I think there's a very high degree of control. You feel that you are in absolute control of where you want to go, okay, who you want to meet, and what information you want to give.
Yes.
Okay, and I think more important is when you come across people that you think that will be dangerous or trying to be a bit creepy, you feel that you can straight away disconnect from the internet. Right? And so there's this false actually environment, protected environment that you think you are in. So it's alright for me to go around, look at different things that I've never been. So this perceived control, high control, is actually one of the key reasons why people go to a lot of actually very unique websites. Okay? Alright? So earlier I mentioned because they feel that they're in a very protected space. Okay? They have freedom. They can talk to anyone they want. They can talk to another internet user. They can actually send a Teams message, a WhatsApp message. They can send a Instagram post, anything that they wish. Okay, it's at the whim and fancy. It's just a click of the mouse or click of a button, right? And everything goes. The third one is because they feel that they're equal. On the internet, like yourself, okay, Must you be the president of United States to be on the internet? No.
No.
Must you even be actually a school teacher to be on the internet? No. You are just yourself. And yet, you are able to go in and join the millions and millions of people out there.
Right.
Everybody is the same. Everybody has a voice.
Yeah.
And nobody can say that you're better than the rest.
Correct.
And this equality, feeling of equality, puts a lot of youth, okay, young people at rest. They don't need to be under watchful eyes of parents, okay, and schools. All right. Okay. There are also things like, for example, videos. Okay. I think especially audience out there, if you're thinking like me and Joe, we are hoping to be the next internet celebrity. So YouTube is the way to go. All right. Okay. If this YouTube video goes viral, I'm not going to go into education anymore. I'm going to do a live post. Okay. This possibility of becoming an online celebrity pushes along young people. Okay. They take a lot of videos, whatever they're eating, whatever they're reading, whatever they're spending, whatever they're buying, wherever they are. Everything goes on the internet. And what they're hoping for? Just one of these videos getting millions of
Virals,
views. Yeah, going viral. The moment it goes viral, they are superstar.
Fulfillment.
Yeah, they are superstar. You know? Okay? So that's the fourth reason. The fifth reason, they want to find a lot of people who share their common interests. So sometimes in real life, okay, you may be someone who doesn't have a lot of friends. In fact, you may not have any friends. Okay? But on the internet, you are able to find groups who are just like you. Okay, you can build connections very easily because you can go to a forum, you can go to a lot of websites, fan websites, you know. You find someone who is just like you or behaves like you virtually. And you find a new friend. So in the real world, I have 0 friends. But in the virtual world, I may have hundreds of friends. So people find that it's so convenient, right? Okay, and by virtue, because the internet is forever 24/7, okay, I can go in to the internet at 5 a.m. Okay, or as and when I want, and there's no restriction. Right, and I think more importantly, it gives you a very real experience. So, for example, when you're talking to someone over the internet, you feel as if this person is like really talking to you. When they send a video to you, okay, although it may not be meant for you, it could be a mass broadcast, right? It may not be meant for you, but you feel that somehow this person remember about me. Okay, I feel connected. Although physically we have never met for years, but I feel connected. You know, there's this very, very forceful online experience that people love. And finally, it's fun and adventurous. Right? You will want to explore new websites. You want to explore new games. You want to actually get fun out of serving certain things that you love. And the last point is the most important because it's fun and exciting. That's why you're there, right? Agree? Okay, so how does it, so now we're going to deep dive into one of the key areas, one of the 4 key areas, social media. How does it affect you, me, and you, of course, okay? So social media, okay, why do parents tolerate social media? You know, when I was doing research, I was asking myself, if social media could be harmful, why would parents accept? Remember? I mean, remember those days you don't even have social media? And all of a sudden you have this social media, and then you started spending hours and hours on the TikTok. Okay, taking photos, videos of yourself, taking videos of others, watching other people's videos, and parents don't really care. Agree? I mean, as a parent, will you stop your kid from going if they say that they are on TikTok?
I think I would use the parental guidance one.
And that's a very smart move.
To protect her from anything that is I don't want her to access. But I think I wouldn't stop her.
Actually, most parents, they only have one purpose in mind. They are worried. If their children are not on the social media than the rest of the other children, right? Okay? Their children will become social outcasts. Okay? And when they are perceived as social outcasts, right, they may not have any friends as they grow older. So this is one of the reasons why social media itself is tolerated and accepted. Okay? And I think parents nowadays can no longer put a stop to social media. What they can do is to limit the amount of time they are online, but they cannot limit the usage of social media. But of course, with actually careful management. Alright. Okay, young people, yourself, you may feel that you have more privacy, you have more control. There's this center of the world feeling. Okay, let me explain a bit more here. What do you mean by center of the world? Okay, when you're in your social media account, you feel that whatever you receive, whatever you send to others, you feel good, right?
Yeah.
You feel that everybody should pay attention on
You
you.
post a picture, then your friends say, slay, so beautiful.
Yeah,
Become-
skibidi. You're quite skibidi about it, right? Okay, but actually, you know, the thing about the psychology explanation behind it is why is there a center of the world feeling? Because this act brings you back to boyhood. Not girlhood and boyhood. Okay, what's boyhood? Boyhood is when you're being brought up as kids, babies. Okay,
Yeah.
become young infants, right?
Yeah.
The world revolves around you. So you feel that actually by you posting this, hoping that everybody watches your videos or photos or comments, send you comments and likes, right?
Okay.
You get this feeling that I'm back to boyhood.
Oh.
The world is all around me, is focusing on me. And this is a very good feeling. Okay? And this feeling propels young people to do more and more. Even though in reality, people are not really interested in watching.
Yeah.
Okay, but when you're sending, you feel that you are actually getting all the attention. All right, and of course, it boosts your self-esteem. You feel that people are looking at you. You feel that more confident. You are more actually informed about what the world, okay, is going through right now. All right, and but it's actually wrong. Social media is like gives you the protected environment where you have a full control, but actually there's a lot of danger. Moving on, let's continue to talk about how social media affect all these young people, right? Okay, the negative side of it, you're overly focused on yourself. Okay, having some
Narcissistic?
yes. In fact, it's okay for you to be confident. It's okay for you to be say that everything should be about me. Okay, but I think excessive, okay, too much, okay, too excessive, right? It results in narcissism. Okay, that means you are overly selfish, which is actually one of the negative traits of psychology. Okay, you also notice that there's actually a decline in their satisfaction with life. Why? Because they're always on social media. When you're always on social media, you lose out in terms of the day-to-day activities. For example, a meal with your parents. Okay, for example, having some quality time with your friends, catching the movie or playing sports, right? And when you're on social media, you can't be like playing football together while you're on the social media, right? Although some people try, okay, to take a video. But that's not what we meant. What we meant is really spending time with your loved ones, sitting down, doing something together. Okay, and when you have that, you don't have so much of that, right? The quality of life drops quite a fair bit. Okay, and of course, as with all social media pictures and videos, this is not a true reflection of who they are in their real life. For example, all these very beautiful ladies,
Filters.
yeah, that's on Instagram. Okay, if I take away the filters, do you think really they look the same? Okay, or if I take away the lighting, do you think we look so nice on video? No, probably not. Okay, so the image, the real life image, right, could be something very different versus a virtual world.
True.
Right? So don't be too alarmed when you're just not your usual self. It's fine. You're still you.
It
I think
means
that's most
we
important.
also cannot idealize someone in social media. They might not even be as they seem.
I mean, we've seen so many cases where celebrities, once they take off their makeup, okay, or when they take off their lighting, they look so different, right? And we got a shock. We have all gone through those photos before, right? So don't be too actually engrossed in presenting the best side of you. Okay, I think artificially may not be a good thing. Too much of it may not be a good thing. Okay, but I'll leave it to you to decide. All right. Okay, and there's distorted perception of friendship. Friendships and relationship building, in my opinion, should be nurtured over time.
Yeah.
Okay, we spend meaningful time together. We spend hours together doing something. We chit chat, we talk, we joke, we shout. Sometimes when we get an argument, we shout, we quarrel, right? But that's how relationships are built over time.
Yeah.
Okay, they are not to be judged by a like, a comment, or a post. Yes, it is very convenient, but the quality of friendships today is a bit different.
Yeah.
Okay, you have never met this person for the last 10 years, but this person sends you a post. What makes you think that this is still your friend? You get my point?
Yes.
Right? So don't be misled, over friendship. I think it's still very, very important for audience out there to spend time with your loved ones and your friends. Okay, and don't be too worried about how many posts, how many likes you receive every day. Why I point this out is because a lot of youngsters treat this as a measurement of success and failure. If I have thousands of likes, I am very successful. No, success is not defined that way.
Correct.
Success is defined by who you are and what you can be or who you want to be.
I agree.
That's in my opinion. Okay?
Yes.
All right. And I think there's also this issue about shortening memory span. It's a shock, but let me tell you, research has been proven.
Okay.
When you are too much on TikTok, swiping the 30 seconds, or when you're watching too much Instagram, okay, your memory span gets shorter and shorter and shorter.
Oh my gosh.
Because you're training your brains
Okay, that's news to me.
Yeah, cognitively to accept things that's not any more than 30 seconds.
Okay, I think I should stop my husband from scrolling TikTok because I think he has short-term memory loss.
Maybe that applies. Okay, maybe the other way of reversing it is force him to watch documentaries for 3 hours.
Agree.
Okay, to prolong it.
Okay, Ronaldo, stop your TikTok.
Yeah, but be careful, okay? Because TikTok, social media, especially all those very short videos, right, has potentially the effect of shortening your cognitive ability.
Very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Yeah, and of course, I think over time, when you see actually certain videos or photos on the internet where girls become exceptionally skinny, anorexia may actually invest in you. And a myth, anorexia is not only in females.
In males.
It is also found in males.
I think it's time you need to explain to the audience what anorexia is.
Okay, anorexia is when for fear of consuming food. Okay, so basically you are trying to repel whatever food intake you have and stop it from entering your digestive system. So for example, I could have just have probably a plate of chicken rice. Okay, and after I put it into my mouth, okay, instead of letting the food go down my throat all the way to my stomach, I force the food out. I puke.
Because we don't want to gain weight.
Yeah, I don't want the extra calories. I don't want the extra fats or whatever that goes in. So when you keep doing this, I force my food out every meal.
Wow.
Every month, every year, for a long period of time, you become exceptionally skinny. And this is also the reason why a lot of girls on the internet, their waistline is frighteningly thin. Okay, I think a typical waistline for ladies may be about 24, 25, 26. I think very, very common, right? But I've seen actually videos or reports online where ladies, probably their waistline is 18, 19. Oh, that is like super skinny. And it's a mental disease, okay? And it cannot be cured easily.
Wow.
Yeah. So for those who are watching a lot of such videos, okay, please try to maintain a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
And of course, more important, watch your health, watch your diet. Okay. But social media has this harmful effect.
Yeah.
It promotes
very
that.
Dangerous.
Yeah. And of course, it may have a long-lasting effect on people.
I even have a senior in high school. Due to the effect of social media, she want to get to shape until unfortunately she passed due to complication because of slimming pills.
I mean, that is a
she
very
has to
common problem.
go to like social media expectations.
I think it's also made worse by virtue that a lot of models, a lot of celebrities, promotes the habit of dieting. Okay, and of course, for people who are already facing challenges with health, please do not do this. Okay, it's definitely very harmful to your body. Right? So social media, as you can see, it has its pros, it has its cons. But if you do not actually keep a close tab on it, it can bring you more harm than good.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let's talk a bit more into the next one. Okay. How does online game violence affect young people? I game a lot. In fact, I was gaming on my way here. Okay. To the agency. I think a bit of gaming is fine. Excessive gaming itself will bring you the negative side of things. So many popular games, okay, especially the violent ones, right? Like Grand Theft Auto. Yes, boys out there, I'm talking about
Boys.
you. Or guys out there, I'm talking about you. Okay. Yeah, all these games are online, right?
Yeah.
So they promote a lot of values that we ourselves in society may not condone. For example, killing.
Mm.
Can you kill someone?
Nope. It's against the law.
Yeah. First, it's against the law. And more important is, do you want to be rewarded for killing someone?
No.
And that's exactly what this game promotes.
But it's against our self-conscience also, no?
Yeah, and in this game, Grand Theft Auto, right, even promotes you going to for prostitution.
Wow.
Okay, so it's a very, very violent game actually, but it's very heavily loved by boys and guys like us because it's very, very interesting. Yeah, you're able to act out the character of a mafia gang leader. Okay, so please, if you're watching,
appeal to that.
it appeals to us. I mean, we like violence, we like war, yes, but it doesn't mean they pick up the arms and go out shooting everybody,
I
right?
think deep down, people in the world have that tendency.
Oh, interesting you mentioned this. For audience out there, okay, do a bit of advertisement and commercial. If you want to know a bit more about whether people are really evil, I think we have done a podcast before. Okay, in our own EAIM website.
Yep.
Please feel free to watch our video. Okay,
Yep.
you'll find out a bit more about why people are evil. Yeah. Okay. I think people who don't play them feel like outsiders. Okay. Research from University of Iowa in the US.
Iowa.
Okay. Yeah. They show that video games okay has actually the harmful effect. Okay. On the player.
Okay.
Right. Much more than if you watch violence in movies and programs.
Wow. Because they're the one acting it up.
No, because when you play video games, right, it comes with a lot of emotional attachment.
Oh.
Okay, and video games nowadays are very, very sophisticated, very interactive. So, for example, when you're playing a third-party role-playing game, okay, it's as if you are really picking up the axe and hacking someone to death. Okay, and that's the power of video games today. You can be someone that you're not in real life. Okay, and it requires you to actually go perform the act. Whereas TVs and films, they don't focus on violence all the while. They probably have a few violent scenes in a movie, which is 2 hours long.
Yep.
But the part where people really get killed or get murdered, right, with a lot of blood splashing out, that's only just less than maybe 10 minutes. But in a video game, the whole video game is
all the way.
Yeah. So some people get attracted, but too much of it, right, can affect you. Okay. So how does it affect you? I think most important, how does it affect you if you play too much online games, especially violent ones like me? Okay. First, you may observe. Okay. A lot of people don't know how to kill. Okay. Or rather, we don't have the wish to kill someone.
Yep.
But when you watch or you play too much games like that, somehow or rather you know what are the methods
Oh my
to
God.
kill someone.
Really?
Yes. You get a bit cynical.
To that extent.
Yeah, so there's a bit of devilish in you that's waiting to be unleashed.
Oh my God.
Okay, all right, and then you learn. Hello. Okay, we are back. Let's continue to talk about how online game violence affect people. Okay, I think first when you play too much games online, especially violent ones, over time you start to reenact. You observe and you reenact. Okay, and you may actually one day, for all you know, decide to apply to real life. So if you have watched the news, right? Okay, sometimes in the US there's this school shooting.
Yes.
Okay, school shooting where people are killed right in school.
Yeah.
So when the investigators go in, they always feel that somehow or rather these are game linked to all the game violence. Okay, of course, till date we still couldn't find any evidence, but actually there's good reason to believe that these people, right, learn through online violent games.
Wow.
Okay, how you actually know how to use a gun, how you actually try to use it on people. You know? So these are some of the key things that may happen when you shift from the virtual world into the physical world. You may just decide that, you go crazy, you just decide to kill someone. Okay, all right, and there's also this actually. Over time, because you allow these games to take over your life.
Yep.
Okay, you are spending so much time playing games that you forgot on the importance of connecting with people. Okay, for example, when I start playing games, I could probably sit in front of my computer for 10 hours straight.
Wow.
It's just working. Except that I'm not working, I'm playing games. To me, I think it's a good way for me to escape the real physical world of stress Okay, spend a bit of time indulging yourself. But of course, more important is you have to pull yourself back.
Yep.
Remember, you are not a character inside the game.
Yeah.
You are a real person. So there must be some form of control. But in this case, many people don't. There are people who play games until they die. Do you know that?
Yep, I do know that.
Yeah, in Japan.
And even child neglect.
Yeah, and in Japan it's very common. There are people, youngsters who died just because of playing games. They have never had anything to eat, sleep, okay, or even actually drink for a few days. And of course, they'll die. Okay, so this is actually where it becomes very, very extreme. It takes over your life, right? Okay, and I think research also shows, okay, that among boys, okay, aged 13 years old in Canada, okay, when they actually keep playing all these games, they are more and more aggressive. And they tend to play this out in real life.
Oh my gosh.
So when 13, right, they have been playing all these games, and one day they will decide to punch their classmate. Okay, or even actually to perform some form of violence on people that they don't really know.
Wow.
Yeah, so there are actually a lot of research that shows that aggressive behavior has a very strong positive correlation with games. Okay, so my advice to audience out there, if you do play a game like me, remember when it's time to eat, you eat. When it's time to stop, you stop. Okay, when it's time to sleep, you sleep.
Yep.
Alright, so don't watch too much videos. Okay, just watch this one is good enough. Okay, after that, go back to sleep or do whatever you want to do. Alright? Okay, so how do people know? I'm going to ask you the third one. How do you know that you're addicted to the internet? How do you know?
Oh man.
I hear this all the time. People say, oh, without internet, I'm dead. No, without internet, I don't know what to do. Oh, or they say, I cannot imagine a day without the internet.
Yep.
So does that mean you're addicted? Or are you not? So how do we call whether you are addicted? Quite hard to tell, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try to demystify. Okay? I think first of all, anything that's online is highly addictive. It's just like taking drugs. Like you earlier, Jasmine, you asked for coffee, right?
Yep.
Coffee comes with caffeine.
I cannot.
Okay? Internet doesn't give you caffeine, but internet gives you the pleasure just like caffeine. It changes your body. Okay, the chemicals issues that's happening in your body. It gives you pleasure.
Wow.
The more you like it, the more you want to do it. And the more you want to do it, the more addicted you are. Alright, so I'm going to move into 6 symptoms. How do you tell you're addicted to internet?
Okay, listen well, audience.
Okay, so if you are addicted, you will have at least 4 to 5 out of this, if not all 6.
Come on.
Okay, first one, salience. You realize that online activity dominates your life and behavior.
Online activity dominate your life.
Yes, that means whatever you do must somehow be related to the internet. Or you cannot find one day where you can do something without falling back on the internet.
Okay.
I think I have this symptom.
Okay, check, yeah.
I think we have this symptom. Most of us, especially working adult or school-going kids, or even teenagers, you will have this symptom. Okay, second, you have a mood change. Oh, I'm very down. But when I'm on internet, I brighten up.
Oh.
There's this very sudden change in you. Okay, because in the online world, because it's exciting, it's adventurous, it's fun. Okay, whereas the real world, right, it could be a boring, friendless person. You don't have a lot of people to go to. Nobody bothers about you. But when you go online, right, that's where all your virtual friends are.
Wow.
So there's a sudden mood change in you, and you brighten up.
Mood change.
Yeah. So second one is mood change. The third one is tolerance. Okay, you will need to actually have more and more of such usage online in order for you to be able to say, oh yeah, I think I'm happy to be online. What am I saying here is maybe you spend 1 hour. It's a norm. Okay, over time it gets boring, right?
Okay.
You need to spend 2 hours. And then you find, there's a reason why I should be there. Okay, and gradually increase from 2 to 3, 3 to 4, so on and so forth until you reach 18. In Indonesia's case, you reach 18. And still after 18, you'll be like, what's next? Maybe I should spend another 1 hour to find out what I am missing out on. The fear of missing out, or FOMO, that's what people say. Okay. Fourth, withdrawal symptom. I take away your phone, I take away your internet, I take away your tablets, I take away your laptop. How will you feel? You feel lost. First thing, you feel lost. Second, you feel sad. Okay, some people who are more extreme, you may feel frustrated. For people who have a bit of moods, you will be angry. Correct? You start to curse. Hey, why did my parents take my account away? You start to curse and yell, right?
Yep.
And finally, you may actually get into, over time, you'll get depressed. If I take away your internet for long, and you're longing for it, you'll get depressed. In fact, I remember watching a CNA video a few weeks back. There was a very, very good video, okay, of this study done on actually teens and the connection with the phone by Channel News Asia. Please go to Channel News Asia and take a look.
Okay.
One of the case study is about Indonesia. Okay, where an Indonesian boy was left without a phone for 2 weeks. Listen.
I think I know.
Listen to what people comment.
Okay.
When they're on this video. This boy definitely feels a withdrawal symptom. In fact, very, very strong withdrawal symptom. Okay. The fifth one is conflict. You take away my phone, I want to punch you.
Yeah.
I want to quarrel with you. I want to fight with you.
Fifth conflict.
I argue with my parents. I will argue with my loved ones. Or even my school teacher. When my school teacher confiscate my phone. Okay. Why are you taking my phone with no reason? Because you're spending too much on the internet. Who says? And then you give yourself all these excuses and you want to actually pick up a fight or quarrel. So you get into conflicts. Last and not least, 6. The more I take it away, the more you want to go back. And the more you want to actually, you're longing. There's this forced longing. You want to go back to the internet world. Okay? So between 1 to 6, how many do you have? I probably have 3.
For me,
I probably have 3. Okay.
yeah, I think I'm around 3, borderline 4, I think. 3 to 4.
3 to 4.
But I think I can still live without it.
I think 3 to 4 is very normal.
Okay, I mean, just to be frank, when I was younger, I would possibly check out 5 to 6 of this list. But as I grew older, I become not as connected, if that makes sense.
Liar.
No, serious.
Liar can't be. As you get older and older, okay, the only reason why you're not so actually addicted is because why you are probably not so addicted is because you know how to control. You know when to stop. Okay? And how much is too much. That's when you have more control.
Yeah.
So truth be told, anyone before 25, they don't really have a very strong sense of control.
Yeah, true. I heard
so
that.
So for audience, if you are below 25, below 25, please watch. Okay, you could be the next victim of online addiction, or if not, you're already one. So how does it affect people? Okay, very quickly, 3 things. Okay, these are 3 things. You will have very poor interpersonal and emotional skills because you are never talking to a real person like Josephine or any others, your parents, your teachers.
Friends.
You do not know how to engage with people anymore. Okay, you are always in the virtual world. You are better with text, but not with conversation. You do not know how to give a presentation. You do not even know how to have a simple meal. Okay, in the eyes of people. Second, I think you don't have the ability to interact. You are lost for words. In fact, some people, when they see real human beings, they run away.
Oh, yeah. Some people are like that.
Yeah. They run away not because they cannot speak. They run away because they don't want to have a conversation.
Yes.
Okay. And this is actually the second issue that you see. The third issue is when you are completely isolated from the world. If I'm forever in my internet world, over time, your friends will leave you. Your loved ones will not care so much about you.
Yes.
Okay, and it's made worse
because
if
they're
you stay
detached.
alone. They are detached.
They're detached from reality.
Yeah, they could be actually probably the most knowledgeable in the virtual world.
Yeah.
But in the physical world, they are left with nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, and isolation is a very, very real problem. With isolation unchecked, it will lead to depression. Okay, so please don't go into the internet too much until you become isolated from the world. Okay, so this is actually the third thing I want to share with you, right, in this podcast. Finally, cyberbullying.
Okay.
2, 3. Yeah.
Welcome back. Let's continue the conversation. Cyberbullying.
Yeah.
I think this is a very, very prevalent problem. Okay, especially for young people. Okay, in school.
Yeah.
In school, in internet. You may have met some school bullies, or you may have even met bullies in real life, okay, at work, etc. So what is cyberbullying? Okay, by definition, cyberbullying is the purpose and inappropriate use of electronic means, okay, to assault a person repeatedly. And usually this person, right, doesn't know how to defend himself.
Yep.
Okay, and the purpose is to harm them, and more importantly is to cause damage to their reputation.
Wow.
Okay, so it's a bit different from traditional bullying. Cyberbullying happens in the virtual world. All right, and we are going to look at how does it happen. There's a number of ways. First, you send insulting or threatening emails. I will kill you, Josephine. I'll write in an email. I'll keep sending you, and it's not just one time. I will constantly keep sending you the same message. I hate you. You are a loser. No, I keep doing that. So over time, right, you start to develop this thinking, oh yeah, maybe I'm a real loser. Or maybe someone is really out to kill me. So actually, this is one of the very, very common techniques that cyberbullies do. Okay, use it. The second one is actually when I found a video of you. Maybe you fall down. Okay, in the most awkward position or the most awkward manner. I took a video of this.
Yep.
And next thing you know, it's on the internet.
Yep.
Okay, and I circulate, I put a lot of weird captions on you, I mock on you, etc. So this is the other way, which is very common how cyberbullying is used. And it's not usually one video. It's multiple videos, constantly. When you feel that you're trying to actually recover from one, I send across the second one. And you'll be very surprised that cyberbullying usually happens, okay, between people who know each other. So there's some sort of a linkage.
Wow.
So that's why this bully, right, somehow rather is able to get all these videos. Okay, and use it to the detriment of the victim. Okay, the third one, okay, when you actually have online groups. So now this is not actually just one-to-one bullying. This is one versus a group of
people.
bullies. Okay, so why do actually people gang up versus a victim? Why? Because many times when you trace back the roots, these people who gang up are afraid of being bullied. So rather than I get bullied, right, I may as well join the bully to bully others.
No wonder.
So this is like actually you have started with one male wolf. This wolf go and find another few male wolves. Together they form a pack. They go after the same sheep. Okay, so over time, right, the main audience, main victim in this case, right, will find himself or herself surrounded everywhere they go. It seems like bullies are everywhere. Okay, so these are three very common ways that cyberbullying happens. There's a lot of others like flaming, etc. But flaming is when I pick up an argument with you online. Okay, whatever you say, I will speak back about you.
Yep.
And then when you reply, I'll speak more bad things about you. So this is what we call flaming. So cyberbullying happens in many, many different areas and in many, many different ways. First, of course, we need to define how common it is. Are you bullied before?
I have.
I've been bullied in school, physically, but never cyber. Why?
Never cyber, verbally, I guess. But it is in olden times.
You know why I've never been cyberbullied?
It's not yet been invented.
No, because in the first place, when I was in school, the internet was not even invented.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't even have a computer. I don't have a computer, I don't have internet. I wasn't bullied. I wasn't cyberbullied, but I was bullied in school, okay?
Yeah.
But I was never cyberbullied.
Yeah.
So today, I think things have changed so much, right? People get cyberbullied. And how common? It's very scary. 30% of you out there, okay, if you're young, below 25,
Wow.
you must have been bullied in the virtual world.
Wow.
So that means out of every 10 of you, 3 of you comes under this number. And we say at least 30. Because a lot of these are not reported. So the number is even much higher. Okay? And there's no actually regards for countries, for schools, for institutions. Everyone can be cyberbullied. As long as you're on the internet. Even adults, we can be cyberbullied. So it doesn't mean that necessarily it actually applies to the young people. Okay? So what causes cyberbullying? A lot of people ask me, okay, how do I become a cyberbully? So how did I end up becoming a cyberbully? Let me bring you behind the scene. Main reason, the bullies themselves are frustrated.
Oh, the bullies are frustrated.
Yeah, they're frustrated with a few things in life. So what are they frustrated with? First, they are probably not able to cope. Life is challenging for them, or life brings a lot of problems for them. So they are not able to find a way to navigate or to address all these issues.
Okay.
So in order to vent out some of this frustration, they
End up
unleash this on others. Yes, this aggression they unleash it on others. So it's like you can say that it's a form of escape.
Yep.
Okay, from reality. Okay, they will also have unachievable dreams. For example, they may have aspirations to be a doctor. Okay, when they grow up, but some or other they don't really study well in school. So they have a high, very very good dream, right? A very high dream, but yet they are not able to do it. So this gap causes frustration again. Okay, and because of this frustration, they will vent all their anger, frustration, and their aggression at one person, at one convenient target. And this convenient target is someone who really knows them by acquaintance or even friends. So there's a connection. It's not like stranger versus stranger, no. It's always by some sort of association. And the target, the victim, is always weaker. It's always a weaker person emotionally.
Wow.
Okay? And the more the victim says, please stop, the more they will intensify. The bully will intensify. So why? Because the bully in this case is like a shark in the ocean. When they smell blood,
they want more.
They will bite more. Okay? So if you are cyberbullied, my advice,
stop
reacting.
bleeding.
Stop reacting. Stop asking for mercy. Don't need to say anything. Just walk away. Okay? The more you ignore them, the more the bully will find that, oh, what's the point? After a while, they'll let you go. Okay? Right? So if you don't give any reaction, don't react, you also don't ask for please. Okay? And when the bully doesn't get anything positive out of it, you'll just stop.
Yeah.
So the worst thing is when the victim keep asking you, like, please don't, please don't.
It will get worse.
Yeah, it will get worse. I mean, have you seen a shark who smell what? Blood? Stop. No. The more they will bite.
Yes.
Okay? So it's something like the shark in the oceans. So I think we talk a bit more about the bully, right?
Yep.
Let's talk about the victim. How the victim is affected. There's no place to hide. When you're cyberbullied, as long as you're going in the internet, you will be bullied. Throughout. It's 24/7. As long as you access the internet. So the best way, don't access the internet, which is very, very difficult for audience out there, right? Especially if you have hook. Second, it's a never-ending process. Because the internet is 24/7.
Yep.
Okay, there's no public holidays. There's no school holidays. There's no off days. Okay, it's forever there.
Yep.
Okay, there is no invitation. I already mentioned earlier, the bully will not stop on their own. Unless you don't give them any reaction.
Yeah.
Okay, so the best way to stop is don't do anything. Okay, and you realize that over time, right? Instead of one person bullying you, you may find a group of people who gang up and bully against you. I mentioned earlier, that is also because they could be also afraid of being bullied.
Yeah.
So they rather join the bully than to be bullied.
Yeah.
So you find yourself at the mercy of a group of bullies.
I found this quote online, and I think this one relate. Hurt people. Someone that is hurt people.
Yeah, which is very, very common.
Yeah.
Okay, in order to protect myself, I rather hurt others.
Yeah.
Okay, and of course, the victim will feel constant fear. Okay, I want to highlight this constant fear. Constant fear, over time, you may be angry, you may be frustrated, you may be depressed. Okay, and over time, in the extreme cases, you may even decide to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very dangerous.
An interesting fact here, when we do a lot of research about victims and bullies themselves, guess who are the ones who are most likely to commit suicide? Between the victim and the bully, who will commit suicide?
Supposedly it's the victim.
Supposed to be victim, right?
But don't tell me it's the bully.
Okay, research proven that it's the bully who commits suicide. Much more.
Wow.
Okay, these are what we call hybrid bullies.
Okay.
Hybrid bullies. Okay, so what are hybrid bullies? They used to be bullied by someone, and then after that they turn around, they start to bully others.
Right.
They start to bully others. So gradually, these people, these hybrid bullies, right, they have a higher percentage of committing suicide. So it may not be the victim committing suicide. The bullies can also commit suicide.
Wow.
Okay, so that's an interesting fact that I did not put here, but I think it's very important for audience out there to pick up something useful and to know more.
So break the chain.
Yeah.
Stop being a bully.
Yeah. So finally, we are coming to the end of this podcast. Okay, I think it is very, very important for me, or rather for Josephine as well, to share with the audience out there how can you get back more control, okay, in the real world, or if you want to stay in the virtual world, how can you protect yourself? Okay, first, remember the virtual world is not all you have. You still have the offline world, which is your real physical world. Maintain a healthy relationship with your friends, your parents, your loved ones, your teachers. More important, spend quality time with your parents. Okay, hopefully they give you lots of encouragement and protection. Okay, find yourself in a secure environment. Schools are secure environment. Homes are secure environment, but not cyberspace. Cyberspace is never secure because you won't know who you meet online. It could be a perfect stranger, right?
Yeah.
It could be someone who's out to hurt you. So as much as you can choose when to disconnect from the internet, but you are putting yourself at risk all the time, right? So find yourself in a secure environment, and more importantly, when you sense possible danger, sound out your parents, sound out to your loved ones.
Yeah.
They will be able to help you. So please seek help if you find yourself in a victim of this. Okay, of course, spend quality time, connect with your friends, your children, with your parents if you are actually someone much older. Okay, set up very, very clear rules for internet usage. For earlier, I mentioned I don't actually go into the internet any more than 3 hours a day. Okay, I think partially also because that is what I can accept. Some of you who cannot control yourself, just maybe it is about time for you to set some parental control.
Yeah.
Okay, or maybe ask your parents to set parental control for you.
Yes.
All right, and understand what's responsible usage of the internet. So everybody wants to use the internet for their own benefit, but don't use the internet, right, for all the wrong reasons, to hurt someone, or to destroy someone's reputation, or to say something that's forceful. This doesn't bring any benefit to anyone. Of course, if there's a way to find you, there's a way. Okay, when there's a way to find you, there's a way. So although the internet, right, gives you some form of anonymity, but remember, the DNS domain will always be able to find you if there's a need to. So please don't try to be a responsible citizen even when you're on the internet. Okay, finally understand the experiences and the difficulties that people go through. All right, we know it's very, very challenging. Young people out there, even adults out there, young adults out there, it's very, very challenging to navigate the harsh reality of life. Every one of us go through this. Okay, like it or not. I was bullied before. I was actually addicted to games for a while during my teenage years. I think everybody goes through that. Okay, gradually you overcome that.
Yes.
As long as you still exercise some level of control over your actions and your behavior. Okay, finally, please open up your adults. Okay, if you are still very, very young, or maybe you feel like you're incapable of making a decision, okay, I think speak out to a loved one, speak out to your friends, speak out to someone that you trust, and I'm sure you'll be able to find a meaningful solution.
Yeah.
All right. With that, I'll end today's podcast. Okay. Do you have any questions? If you have any questions, please actually share in the comments below. Okay, and let us know what you think. We'll be happy to help.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I know it has been a very informative session for you. I know it's a lot, but maybe some of you merasa butuh bantuan in terms of maybe you experiencing cyberbullying or anything like that. Do seek help, okay? But if you want to hear more from Mr. Stanley, so you can. Gimana caranya? Dengan berkuliah di Singapura. He is teaching in our institution, EAIM, in partnership with University of Wolverhampton. There ada berbagai macam jurusan dari psychology, IT branch out to cyber security, AI, data science, we have business, we have tourism hospitality, we have everything. So if you want more information regarding our university and if you want to hear more from Mr. Stanley So, do contact our official partner HJS Education.